I'm not trying to get demonetized here. Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. So this video is going to be the first out of X amount of videos where I talk about the different aspects of body positivity. For those who don't know, body positivity has to deal with self-image, how mental health correlates with physical health, and vice versa. And it also deals with how the media represents different body shapes and sizes and abilities on display. Disclaimer, I am not a professional of any kind. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a physician. I'm none of those things. Body positivity, mental, physical health, and media representation are just a few of the things that I'm really passionate about. The really good thing about this quarantine is that I have had enough time for myself to delve deep into this topic. I've been incorporating aspects of body positivity into my own life since 2017. But during this time in quarantine, I was able to break down what I used to think body positivity was and reshape it based on my own research. That's why this video is called What Body Positivity Means to Me, because it could mean a lot of different things to different people. So I'm just going to be sharing my opinion based on my experience and my own research, so you can take it or leave it. Another very important disclaimer, I will be talking about some pretty unhealthy dietary habits that I used to do when I was in high school. So if you are somebody that is struggling with an eating disorder or body dysmorphia and this kind of topic still triggers you, this is your warning to click away. I'm pretty sure that there will be better videos out there on YouTube that talk about this subject better than I can. So trust me, I'm not going to be offended if this is not the video for you. So when I was growing up, I really didn't have a positive example of a healthy relationship between my body and food and exercise. It's really important for me to make it clear to you guys that my parents had the best intention to keep me healthy. They wanted me to have a long and healthy life. The thing was, they weren't properly taught how to teach me how to love myself, along with teaching me how to be healthy. I can't solely blame my problems with my body image on my parents because they grew up in a completely different generation than I did. Back when my parents were growing up, if you were fat, you were a very easy target for bullying, and it was kind of common for people to make fun of other people who were fat. I mean, it's still kind of happening now, but it was worse back then. Body positivity and promoting a healthier self-image really hasn't been around for a long time, so that's why my parents weren't educated well on promoting a positive body image onto me. With that in mind, they didn't really approach my health in a positive way, and it really altered the way I thought about my body for the first 20 years of my life. So I'm just going to be plain and simple about this. By the time I was about 5 or 6 years old, I was a pretty fat kid. I really wasn't a picky kid. I really loved fruits and vegetables, but at the same time, I loved Lunchables just like any other kid. So because I was overweight at such a young age, it was made clear to me very early on that the only important thing about me and my life was whether or not I lost weight. And of course at school I was bullied a lot for my weight. I started school a year later than everybody else because my mom wanted me to get speech therapy. So when I was in kindergarten, I was already almost 7 years old. So the fact that I was older and taller and bigger than everybody else in kindergarten, I was clearly an easy target for bullying. Other kids my age would call me scary or ugly. I remember at one point in middle school, there was a rumor that I was so big and ugly that I wasn't even a girl. So not only was I taught that I didn't deserve to be happy, I lost the sense of femininity that I should have been trying to define during adolescence. I was into musical theater. I still technically am. I love musical theater. When I was a freshman, I got a really big role that I was so excited to get. And even though I got so much encouragement from my directors, I still didn't believe I was pretty enough to be the role that I was in. So between January and March, April, whenever I did that show, I lost about 30 pounds. And I lost it in probably some of the worst ways ever. This is where I'm going to be talking about some of my unhealthy diet habits, so please, you have been warned. So during that period, I used to skip breakfast and lunch. I would only eat dinner because that's when I had a meal in front of my parents and I didn't want my parents to freak out. When my cafeteria would serve breakfast, sometimes I would just buy an apple, maybe just a bottle of water or just a cup of coffee. On top of that, my PE class was teaching a curriculum on being in a gym, so we went down to our gym where the football team used to work out, and we were taught how to use an elliptical, we were taught how to use weights, we were taught how to use stair climbers and all those things. But for the most part, during that curriculum, I stayed on the elliptical, and on the little screen that they have, they would tell you how many calories that you would burn. So I would purposely work myself to death so I could lose 1,000 calories. I was even in a toxic friend group that was constantly making fun of themselves for being fat and eating too much. And I was the tallest and I was the biggest girl in my group. So again, I stuck out like a sore thumb, and I was the punching bag for a lot of jokes because I was pretty awkward back then. I was awkward because I was constantly afraid of what other people thought of me, and I was constantly comparing myself to my friends. The worst thing was when I did the show, my family and some of my friends were really excited about the fact that I lost so much weight. They were telling me how beautiful I was and how hard I've worked, and it kind of just promoted that negative behavior. I didn't want to tell them what I was doing. I didn't want to tell them that I was starving myself. So again, I kept my dietary habits a secret. So with those in mind, I didn't think that the 30 pounds that I lost already wasn't enough. At that point, I was around 150 pounds and I wanted to get to 130 so bad. But at that point, I plateaued and I was freaking out. That's when my dad went on a diet himself. I'm not going to name the diet that he went on, but basically what it was is that he ate this diet food that had no sugar in it. So you weren't allowed to have any sugar at all. Period. So you would deprive yourself of the sugar that you needed to make the energy that you need to live your daily life. Once your body runs out of the sugar that's already stored up inside you, it resorts to eating away your fat, and you can lose weight really fast. My dad lost 50 pounds in 3 months, and it looked like a miracle to me. So that's what I did. I finally hit that 130 point, but I was incredibly thin for my size. When I was 130 pounds, I really didn't look healthy at all. I thought it looked good enough for everybody around me. But in reality, my body was just crying for help. And I chose to ignore it because I was so afraid to gain any more weight and to make my family and friends disappointed in me. When I left high school, that's when my whole perspective started to change. I mean, that's what happens when you go to college anyway. I started talking to more friends, I broke away from that toxic friend group, and I had a friend at that time that introduced me to body positivity and the idea of self-care, and I was very confused. So I decided to do my own research on the wonderful internet. Back in 2017, the only place where body positivity was really talked about was Instagram. So Instagram was the first place where I discovered people like Ashley Graham, who, in case you live under a rock, she was the first plus-size woman to be on the front cover of Sports Illustrated magazine, and she is a wonderful plus-size model. She is such a huge inspiration to me. I also discovered some amazing Instagram influencers like Megan Jane Crabb, also known as Body Posy Panda, Michelle Elman, Scarred But Not Scared on Instagram, Thick Leonce, and Danny Adriana. These women open up their struggles with body dysmorphia, eating disorders, and the struggle with not being able to see yourself represented in the media, which was something that I didn't think I could relate to with anybody else. So body positivity was introduced to me as a way to redefine what beauty meant to me by embracing the so-called flaws that beauty standards told me were flaws. So things like cellulite, stretch marks, and just straight up fat, you know what I mean? Just this. They told me that that was just not okay, even though pretty much every woman has to deal with some part of their body that jiggles, whether it be their arms or their stomachs or their legs, whatever. So body positivity was a way to encourage myself and other people to simply just be content with those things. It takes a long time for someone to completely be in love with themselves, especially if you come from a position like mine where I completely hated everything about myself. But if it could get me to simply be okay with myself when I look in the mirror, then it's working its purpose and it's already doing a lot of positive things for me. Even though the idea of body positivity, self-love, self-care has helped so many people around the world since 2017 when I was doing it, there's still a lot of people out there that think body positivity is the same thing as promoting obesity and promoting unhealthy lifestyles. Even when I broke down my old definition of body positivity and reshaped it based on my opinion, this still was the same thing. Body positivity simply just stops this chase of having the perfect body. Everybody is different. There is no one singular perfect body. And the idea of the perfect body type is is a fad. It changes every couple years or so. So the thing about body positivity, it just teaches people to love themselves as an individual, to love yourself enough to want to take care of yourself. You don't have to be a size 6 to be fit or healthy. Health is a mini splinter thing, but the way you view your body is a key element to how you want to treat your body. This might sound a little cliche, but your body is the housing of your soul. You can't experience life without your body. I don't know about you, but if this is the only life that you have, it's really important to want to take care of yourself and want to protect your body as much as possible. You can still want to lose weight or find an exercise routine or want to incorporate healthier foods into your diet and still be body positive, as long as you're doing it to take care of your body. I know it sounds really simple, but the idea of wanting to take care of myself because I love myself was really revolutionary for me when I was starting to discover all these things. After 3 years of ups and downs and a couple bumps in the road, I have to say that body positivity has definitely helped me to become the healthiest that I've ever been. Not the thinnest, but the healthiest. Because healthy and thin are not the same thing. Currently, I have been building a better relationship between exercise and my body image, along with having a cleaner and healthier diet. Being in quarantine also gave me a good opportunity to see what kind of form of exercise that I really enjoy. Surprise! Exercising doesn't always have to be this torturous thing that you have to do. It can actually be really fun. I started up tennis, I love that, and I even do a couple little dance workout stuff. So those are things that make me happy. Same thing with eating fruits and vegetables. I've been very adventurous during the quarantine, eating different fruits that I never tried before. And again, you should be wanting to take care of yourself through ways that is enjoyable for you, because taking care of yourself should be fun. It should be enjoyable. It should make your body feel good. But at the same time, I don't beat myself up for not being healthy all the time. That's another thing that I learned through body positivity. It's really all about balance. You should not feel guilty for having a life. You shouldn't feel guilty for enjoying yourself during the holidays or at parties or when you're with friends. Those kinds of messages really took so much pressure off of me. So now I can really enjoy my life to the fullest. So I really hope this video brought enlightenment and encouragement to those who really needed it. Again, I'm going to try and make more videos related to this topic. I already have another one planned in mind. So as long as you want to have a civil conversation in the comments, I am up for it, and I will try to respond to you as soon as possible. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!